Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the English Podcast channel. I'm Emma.
And I'm Mike. Today we have another exciting episode where we'll cover 50 essential English vocabulary words for beginners.
These words will help you build a strong foundation in English. For each word, we'll provide the meaning, synonyms, 2 example sentences, and demonstrate its use in a short conversation.
If you find the podcast speed too fast, we encourage you to adjust the playback speed to 0.75x. On mobile, click the gear or settings icon at the top of the video screen. On desktop, you'll find the settings icon at the bottom left corner of the video.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to let us know what you think. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the best content.
Let's get started.
251. Affix, meaning a morpheme that is attached to a word stem to form a new word or word form. Synonyms: append, attach, add. Example sentences. 1. To make undo, we affix un to do. 2. The teacher asked the students to affix their name tags. Dialogue 1.
How do you affix the suffix to this word?
You add ing to walk to make walking.
That's simple enough.
Yes, it changes the meaning slightly.
Dialogue 2.
Where should I affix this label?
Place it at the top of the page.
Got it. Thanks.
No problem.
252. Antonym, meaning a word that means the opposite of another word. Synonyms: opposite, reverse, contrary. Example sentences. 1. Hot is an antonym of cold. 2. The teacher asked for an antonym of happy. Dialogue 1.
Can you give me an antonym for dark?
Sure, light is an antonym.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Anytime.
Dialogue 2.
What's an antonym for fast?
Slow is the antonym.
Makes sense.
Yes, it's the opposite.
253. Appropriate, meaning suitable or proper in the circumstances. Synonyms: suitable, fitting, proper. Example sentences. 1. Her attire was appropriate for the formal event. 2. It's important to use appropriate language in a professional setting. Dialogue 1.
Is this outfit appropriate for the interview?
Yes, it's perfect.
Great. I was worried it might be too casual.
No, it looks very professional.
Dialogue 2.
Is it appropriate to address him by his first name?
In this context, yes.
Good to know.
Always better to ask if unsure.
254. Information, meaning facts provided or learned about something or someone. Synonyms: data, details, facts. Example sentences. 1. The website provides detailed information about the event. 2. Please gather all the information before making a decision. Dialogue 1.
Where can I find more information about this topic?
You can check the library or online sources.
I'll start with the library.
Great choice.
Dialogue 2.
Do you have all the information needed for the report?
Yes, I've gathered everything.
Perfect. Let's review it together.
Sounds good.
255. Audience, meaning the assembled spectators or listeners at a public event, such as a play, movie, concert, or meeting. Synonyms: spectators, listeners, viewers. Example sentences. 1. The audience clapped enthusiastically after the performance. 2. The speaker addressed a large audience at the conference. Dialogue 1.
How big was the audience at the event?
There were about 200 people.
That's impressive.
Yes, it was a good turnout.
Dialogue 2.
Did the audience enjoy the show?
They seemed to love it.
That's great to hear.
Yes, it was a success.
256. Author. Meaning, a writer of a book, article, or report. Synonyms. Writer, creator, composer. Example sentences. 1. She is the author of several mystery novels. 2. The author signed copies of his new book at the event. Dialogue 1.
Who is the author of this book?
It's written by J.K. Rowling.
She's a fantastic writer.
Absolutely.
Dialogue 2.
Did the author attend the book signing?
Yes, and he signed my copy.
That's amazing.
It was a great experience.
257. Message. Meaning, a verbal, written, or recorded communication sent to or left for a recipient who cannot be contacted directly. Synonyms. Communication, note, memo. Example sentences. 1. She left a message on his voicemail. 2. The email contained an important message from the boss. Dialogue 1.
Did you get my message?
Yes, I saw it this morning.
Great, I just wanted to confirm.
Thanks for the update.
Dialogue 2.
What was the message about?
It was regarding the meeting schedule.
Good to know.
I'll forward it to you.
258. Point of view. Meaning, a particular attitude or way of considering a matter. Synonyms. Perspective, viewpoint, stance. Example sentences. 1. From her point of view, the project was a success. 2. It's important to consider different points of view. Dialogue 1.
What's your point of view on this issue?
I think we should proceed with caution, and
That's a valid perspective.
yes, it's important to be careful.
Dialogue 2.
How can we incorporate different points of view?
By listening to everyone's opinions.
Good idea. Let's do that.
Agreed.
259. Blog. Meaning, a regularly updated website or web page, typically one run by an individual or small group, that is written in an informal or conversational style. Synonyms. Weblog, online journal, diary. Example sentences. 1. She started a blog to share her travel experiences. 2. The company's blog features industry news and updates. Dialogue 1.
Have you read her latest blog post?
Yes, it was very insightful.
She's a great writer.
Absolutely.
Dialogue 2.
Do you think we should start a blog for our project?
That's a great idea. It would keep everyone informed.
Let's discuss it with the team.
Definitely.
260. Capital. Meaning, the city or town that functions as the seat of government and administrative center of a country or region. Synonyms. Metropolis, city, town. Example sentences. 1. Paris is the capital of France. 2. The capital city was bustling with activity. Dialogue 1.
What's the capital of Japan?
It's Tokyo.
I've always wanted to visit.
Me too. It's a fascinating city.
Dialogue 2.
Have you ever been to the capital?
Yes, I visited last year.
How was it?
It was amazing. So much to see and do.
261. Capitalization. Meaning, the action of writing or printing in capital letters or with an initial capital. Synonyms. Uppercase, caps, initial. Example sentences. 1. Proper nouns require capitalization. 2. He forgot to use capitalization in his essay. Dialogue 1.
Did you check the capitalization in your document?
Yes, I made sure all proper nouns are capitalized.
Great job.
Thanks.
Dialogue 2.
Why is capitalization important?
It helps to identify proper nouns and the beginning of sentences.
That makes sense.
Yes, it improves readability.
262. Cause. Meaning, a person or thing that gives rise to an action, phenomenon, or condition. Synonyms: reason, source, origin. Example sentences. 1. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. 2. Poor diet can cause health problems. Dialogue 1.
What was the cause of the accident?
It was due to slippery roads.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, it's a reminder to be cautious.
Dialogue 2.
Do you know the cause of his illness?
It's likely due to stress.
He should take it easy.
I agree.
263. Effect. Meaning, a change that is a result or consequence of an action or other cause. Synonyms: result, outcome, consequence. Example sentences. 1. The new law had an immediate effect on traffic. 2. Exercise has a positive effect on mental health. Dialogue 1.
What effect did the policy change have?
It improved employee morale.
That's great news.
Yes, it was a positive change.
Dialogue 2.
Did the medicine have any side effects?
No, it worked perfectly.
That's a relief.
Yes, I'm glad.
264. Central. Meaning, of the greatest importance, principal or essential. Synonyms: main, principal, chief. Example sentences. 1. The central theme of the book is love. 2. His role is central to the team's success. Dialogue 1.
What is the central idea of your presentation?
It's about improving customer service.
That's an important topic.
Yes, it's crucial for our business.
Dialogue 2.
What's the central argument in this article?
It argues for better environmental policies.
I'll read it carefully.
It's very informative.
265. Idea. Meaning, a thought or suggestion as to a possible course of action. Synonyms: concept, notion, thought. Example sentences. 1. She has a brilliant idea for a new project. 2. The idea of traveling around the world excites him. Dialogue 1.
Do you have an idea for the next meeting?
Yes, I was thinking we could discuss new marketing strategies.
That's a great idea.
Thanks, I think it will be useful.
Dialogue 2.
How did you come up with this idea?
It just came to me while brainstorming.
It's very creative.
Thank you.
266. Character. Meaning, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Synonyms: personality, nature, disposition. Example sentences. 1. Her character is defined by her kindness and generosity. 2. The main character in the story is a brave young girl. Dialogue 1.
What do you think of his character?
He's very honest and hardworking.
Those are admirable traits.
Yes, he's a good person.
Dialogue 2.
Who's your favorite character in the book?
I like the protagonist. She's very inspiring.
I agree, she's well written.
Absolutely.
267. Action. Meaning, the fact or process of doing something, typically to achieve an aim. Synonyms: act, deed, operation. Example sentences. 1. The government needs to take action to solve the problem. 2. His actions speak louder than words. Dialogue 1.
What action should we take next?
We should start by gathering more data.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yes, it will help us make informed decisions.
Dialogue 2.
His actions were very courageous.
Yes, he really stepped up when it mattered.
He's a true hero.
Definitely.
268. Relationship. Meaning, the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected. Synonyms: connection, association, link. Example sentences. 1. They have a strong relationship built on trust and respect. 2. The relationship between diet and health is well established. Dialogue 1.
What's your relationship with her?
We're good friends from college, and
That's nice.
yes, we've known each other for years.
Dialogue 2.
How is the relationship between the two companies?
It's very collaborative.
That's great to hear.
Yes, it benefits both sides.
269. Chart. Meaning, a sheet of information in the form of a table, graph, or diagram. Synonyms: graph, diagram, table. Example sentences. 1. The chart shows the company's growth over the past year. 2. She used a pie chart to illustrate the survey results. Dialogue 1.
Can you help me create a chart for my presentation?
Sure, what data do you need to include?
Sales figures for the last quarter.
I'll get right on it.
Dialogue 2.
How do you read this chart?
It shows the monthly expenses in different categories.
That's helpful.
Yes, it's very clear.
270. Graph. Meaning, a diagram showing the relation between variable quantities, typically of two variables measured along a pair of lines at right angles. Synonyms: chart, diagram, plot. Example sentences. 1. The graph indicates a steady increase in sales. 2. He used a bar graph to represent the data. Dialogue 1.
How should we present the data?
Let's use a graph for better clarity.
Good idea. It will be easier to understand.
I'll prepare one.
Dialogue 2.
Can you explain this graph to me?
It shows the relationship between time and productivity.
That's interesting.
Yes, it's very informative.
271. Diagram. Meaning, a simplified drawing showing the appearance, structure, or workings of something, a schematic representation. Synonyms: drawing, sketch, plan. Example sentences. 1. The teacher drew a diagram on the board to explain the process. 2. The diagram shows the parts of a cell. Dialogue 1.
Can you draw a diagram to explain this?
Sure, here it is.
That makes it much clearer.
I'm glad it helps.
Dialogue 2.
What does this diagram represent?
It illustrates the workflow of our project.
That's very useful.
Mike, yes, it simplifies the process.
272. Table. Meaning, a set of facts or figures systematically displayed, especially in columns. Synonyms: chart, schedule, list. Example sentences. 1. The table lists all the participants in the study. 2. She organized the data into a table for easy reference. Dialogue 1.
How should we present this data?
Let's use a table.
That's a good idea.
I'll format it.
Dialogue 2.
Can you add this information to the table?
Of course, I'll update it now.
Thanks, that will be helpful.
No problem.
273. Clear. Meaning, easy to perceive, understand, or interpret. Synonyms: lucid, obvious, evident. Example sentences. 1. Her instructions were very clear. 2. The path ahead was clear and easy to follow. Dialogue 1.
Were the instructions clear?
Yes, they were very straightforward.
That's good to hear.
It made the task easier.
Dialogue 2.
Is everything clear about the plan?
Yes, I understand it perfectly.
Great, let's proceed.
Absolutely.
274. Language. Meaning, The method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. Synonyms: tongue, dialect, speech. Example sentences. 1. English is a global language. 2. She is fluent in multiple languages. Dialogue 1.
What's your favorite language to learn?
I really enjoy studying Spanish.
That's a beautiful language.
Yes, it is.
Dialogue 2.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 3 languages.
That's impressive.
Thanks, I love learning new languages.
275. Comma. Meaning, a punctuation mark indicating a pause between parts of a sentence or separating items in a list. Synonyms: punctuation, separator, delimiter. Example sentences. 1. Remember to use a comma before the conjunction. 2. She added a comma to separate the items in the list. Dialogue 1.
Where should I place the comma in this sentence?
It goes after the second item in the list.
Thanks for the tip.
No problem.
Dialogue 2.
Did I use the comma correctly?
Yes, that looks perfect.
Great, I'm learning.
You're doing well.
276. Compare. Meaning, estimate, measure, or note the similarity or dissimilarity between. Synonyms: contrast, juxtapose, match. Example sentences. 1. Let's compare the 2 products to see which is better. 2. She compared her notes with her friends to check for any differences. Dialogue 1.
How do the 2 reports compare?
They are quite similar in content.
That's interesting.
Yes, it shows consistency.
Dialogue 2.
Can we compare these results?
Sure, let's look at them side by side.
That's very helpful.
Yes, it gives a clear picture.
277. Contrast. Meaning, the state of being strikingly different from something else. Synonyms: difference, dissimilarity, distinction. Example sentences. 1. The colors contrast nicely with each other. 2. There is a stark contrast between the 2 opinions. Dialogue 1.
How do the 2 paintings contrast?
One is very bright while the other is dark.
That's quite a difference.
Yes, it creates a strong visual impact.
Dialogue 2.
Can you contrast their approaches?
Sure, one is very detailed, the other more general.
That's insightful.
I'm glad it helps.
278. Conclude. Meaning, to bring something to an end. Synonyms: finish, end, complete. Example sentences. 1. The meeting concluded with a summary of action items. 2. After months of negotiation, they finally concluded the deal. Dialogue 1.
When will the project conclude?
By the end of this month,
That's sooner than I thought.
we've been working efficiently.
Dialogue 2.
How did you conclude your presentation?
With a powerful quote.
That sounds effective.
It seemed to resonate with the audience.
279. Conclusion. Meaning, the end or finish of an event, process, or text. Synonyms: ending, finish, closure. Example sentences. 1. The conclusion of the book was very satisfying. 2. They reached a conclusion after much discussion. Dialogue 1.
What was the conclusion of the meeting?
We decided to implement the new policy.
That's a good decision.
Yes, it will benefit everyone.
Dialogue 2.
How do you write a strong conclusion?
Summarize the main points and end with a strong statement.
I'll keep that in mind.
It works well.
280. Statement. Meaning, a definite or clear expression of something in speech or writing. Synonyms: declaration, assertion, announcement. Example sentences. 1. He made a bold statement during the meeting. 2. The company issued a statement regarding the incident. Dialogue 1.
What did the statement say?
It addressed the recent changes in policy.
That's important information.
Yes, everyone should be aware of it.
Dialogue 2.
How can I make my statement more impactful?
Be clear and concise.
I'll try that. And
It's effective.
281. Draw. Meaning, to produce a picture or diagram by making lines and marks on paper with a pencil, pen, etc. Synonyms. Sketch, illustrate, depict. Example sentences. 1. She likes to draw landscapes in her free time. 2. He drew a diagram to explain his idea. Dialogue 1.
can you draw a map of the area?
Sure, give me a moment.
Thanks, that will help a lot.
Here you go.
Dialogue 2.
Do you know how to draw this animal?
Yes, I can sketch it for you.
That would be great.
I'll start right away.
282. Concrete. Meaning, existing in a material or physical form, real or solid, not abstract. Synonyms. Tangible, real, solid. Example sentences. 1. The plan needs to be backed by concrete evidence. 2. She gave concrete examples to support her argument. Dialogue 1.
Do we have any concrete evidence for this claim?
Yes, I have the data right here.
That's excellent.
It will strengthen our case.
Dialogue 2.
Can you provide a concrete example?
Sure, here's one that illustrates the point.
That makes it clearer.
Glad to help.
283. Detail. Meaning, an individual feature, fact, or item. Synonyms. Particular, item, specific. Example sentences. 1. Every detail of the plan was carefully considered. 2. The artist captured every detail of the scene. Dialogue 1.
Can you explain this in more detail?
Of course, let me elaborate.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
I'm glad it helps.
Dialogue 2.
I appreciate your attention to detail.
It's important to get everything right.
Absolutely. It makes a difference.
Indeed.
284. Conflict. Meaning, a serious disagreement or argument. Synonyms. Dispute, quarrel, clash. Example sentences. 1. The conflict between the two countries has escalated. 2. There is a conflict in their schedules. Dialogue 1.
How can we resolve this conflict?
We need to find a compromise.
Let's work on that.
It's the best solution.
Dialogue 2.
There's a conflict with the meeting times.
Can we reschedule?
I'll check with everyone.
That would help.
285. Connect. Meaning, to bring together or into contact so that a real or notional link is established. Synonyms. Link, join, unite. Example sentences. 1. The bridge connects the two islands. 2. She feels a deep connection with nature. Dialogue 1.
How do we connect these two ideas?
We can use a transition sentence.
That's a good approach.
It will make the text flow better.
Dialogue 2.
Can you help me connect to the Wi-Fi?
Sure, just follow these steps.
Thanks, that worked.
Glad to assist.
286. Convince. Meaning, cause someone to believe firmly in the truth of something. Synonyms. Persuade, assure, influence. Example sentences. 1. She convinced him to join the team. 2. The lawyer convinced the jury of his client's innocence. Dialogue 1.
How can we convince them to support us?
By presenting strong evidence.
Let's prepare our arguments.
That's the best strategy.
Dialogue 2.
Did you manage to convince him?
Yes, he agreed to help.
That's great news.
Yes, it will be very beneficial.
287. Create. Meaning, to bring something into existence. Synonyms: generate, make, produce. Example sentences. 1. The artist loves to create abstract paintings. 2. They are planning to create a new marketing strategy. Dialogue 1.
How did you create this artwork?
I used oil paints and a palette knife.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Dialogue 2.
We need to create a new logo.
I'll start brainstorming ideas.
I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Me too.
288. Definition. Meaning, a statement of the exact meaning of a word, especially in a dictionary. Synonyms: meaning, explanation, description. Example sentences. 1. The definition of the word was unclear. 2. She looked up the definition in the dictionary. Dialogue 1.
What's the definition of synergy?
It means the interaction of elements that produce a greater effect together than individually.
That's a useful term.
Yes, especially in business.
Dialogue 2.
Where can I find the definition of this term?
In the glossary at the back of the book.
Thanks, I'll check there.
No problem.
289. Describe. Meaning, to give an account in words of someone or something, including all the relevant characteristics, qualities, or events. Synonyms: depict, portray, characterize. Example sentences. 1. She described the scenery in vivid detail. 2. Can you describe what happened at the meeting? Dialogue. 1.
How would you describe this movie?
It's a thrilling adventure with lots of twists.
Sounds exciting.
It really is.
Dialogue 2.
Can you describe the suspect?
He was tall with dark hair and glasses.
That helps a lot.
Glad to assist.
290. Description. Meaning, a spoken or written representation or account of a person, object, or event. Synonyms: account, portrayal, depiction. Example sentences. 1. The book includes a detailed description of the characters. 2. Her job description includes managing the team. Dialogue 1.
Can you give me a brief description of the project?
Sure, it involves designing a new website.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it's a great opportunity.
Dialogue 2.
What does the job description say?
It mentions responsibilities like customer service and sales.
That's helpful to know.
Yes, it gives a clear picture.
291. Descriptive. Meaning, serving or seeking to describe. Synonyms: illustrative, detailed, graphic. Example sentences. 1. The writer's descriptive style makes the scenes come alive. 2. She provided a descriptive account of her travels. Dialogue 1.
How can I make my writing more descriptive?
Use vivid adjectives and sensory details, and
That's good advice.
it helps paint a picture in the reader's mind.
Dialogue 2.
Your essay is very descriptive.
Thanks. I worked hard on it, and
It shows great job, and
I appreciate it.
292. Realistic. Meaning, representing things in a way that is accurate and true to life. Synonyms: pragmatic, practical, lifelike. Example sentences. 1. The painting is very realistic, almost like a photograph. 2. We need to set realistic goals for the project. Dialogue 1.
Is this plan realistic?
Yes, we have the resources to achieve it.
That's reassuring.
We'll make it happen.
Dialogue 2.
How can I make my characters more realistic?
Give them flaws and relatable traits, and
That's great advice.
it makes them more human.
293. Determine. Meaning, to cause something to occur in a particular way, to be the decisive factor in. Synonyms: decide, ascertain, establish. Example sentences. 1. The test will determine your grade. 2. She determined to finish the project by the deadline. Dialogue 1.
How do we determine the winner?
We'll use a point system.
That sounds fair.
Yes, it's objective.
Dialogue 2.
Can you determine the cause of the problem?
I'll need to investigate further.
Let me know what you find out.
Will do.
294. Develop. Meaning, to grow or cause to grow and become more mature, advanced, or elaborate. Synonyms: evolve, progress, expand. Example sentences. 1. The company plans to develop new software. 2. She developed a passion for painting. Dialogue 1.
How did you develop this skill?
Through years of practice and study.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Dialogue 2.
What's the next step in our plan?
We need to develop a marketing strategy.
Let's brainstorm some ideas.
Great, let's do it.
295. Evidence. Meaning, the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. Synonyms: proof, confirmation, verification. Example sentences. 1. The evidence clearly shows he was at the scene. 2. There is no evidence to support their claims. Dialogue 1.
Do we have enough evidence?
Yes, it's quite convincing.
That's good to hear.
It should help our case.
Dialogue 2.
What does the evidence suggest?
That we need to change our approach.
I see. Thanks for the update.
No problem.
296. Elaboration. Meaning, the process of developing or presenting a theory, policy, or system in further detail. Synonyms: expansion, amplification, refinement. Example sentences. 1. Her elaboration on the topic was very informative. 2. The plan needs further elaboration before we can proceed. Dialogue 1.
Can you provide more elaboration on this point?
Certainly, here are the details.
That makes it much clearer.
I'm glad it helps.
Dialogue 2.
Your elaboration was very helpful.
Thank you. I wanted to be thorough.
It shows. Great job. And
I appreciate it.
297. Dialogue. Meaning, a conversation between two or more people as a feature of a book, play, or movie. Synonyms: conversation, discussion, exchange. Example sentences. 1. The dialogue in the movie was very realistic. 2. They had a productive dialogue about the project. Dialogue 1.
how can we improve the dialogue in our script?
Make it more natural and relatable.
That's a good tip.
It helps the audience connect with the characters.
Dialogue 2.
I enjoyed the dialogue in that book.
The author has a talent for writing realistic conversations.
Yes, it made the characters come to life.
Absolutely.
298. Dictionary entry. Meaning, a part of a dictionary that explains the meaning, pronunciation, and usage of a word. Synonyms: definition, explanation, term. Example sentences. 1. She looked up the dictionary entry for synergy. 2. The dictionary entry provided multiple meanings for the word, Dialogue 1.
What does the dictionary entry say?
It gives several definitions and examples.
That's helpful.
Yes, it's very thorough.
Dialogue 2.
How do you find the dictionary entry for this word?
Just look it up alphabetically.
That's easy enough.
Yes, it's straightforward.
299. Draft. Meaning, a preliminary version of a piece of writing. Synonyms: outline, sketch, rough copy. Example sentences. 1. She is working on the first draft of her novel. 2. The draft needs some revisions before it's final. Dialogue 1.
Have you finished the draft?
Yes, but it still needs editing.
Let's review it together.
Sounds good.
Dialogue 2.
How many drafts did you write?
I usually go through 3 drafts.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, but it improves the final product.
300. Edit. Meaning, to prepare written material for publication by correcting, condensing, or otherwise modifying it. Synonyms: revise, correct, improve. Example sentences. 1. She edited the document for grammar and spelling errors. 2. The article was edited before it was published. Dialogue 1.
Can you help me edit this report?
Of course, I'll start with the grammar.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Dialogue 2.
How do you edit your work?
I read it out loud to catch any mistakes.
That's a good technique.
It really helps.
That wraps up today's episode on English vocabulary. We hope you found it helpful and enjoyable.
Remember, the key to mastering vocabulary is practice. Try to use these words in your daily conversations and writing.
Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye for now.